Welcome to RoosterTV, and today we're joined by the senior coach, Jacob Surjan. Serge, thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Tubbs. Thanks for having me.
So it was a bit of a different weekend for everyone involved at North Adelaide with the weekend off, but Serge continued to do all the hard work in his coaching capacity. So the state game on the weekend, a great win for the South Australian boys over Western Australia, and just give us a quick view of what happened from the coach's box and how the game panned out for us.
Well, it was obviously a really successful day for South Australian football, and I know the SANFL were pretty pleased with the result. I think it's 48 apiece now between WA and South Australia, and being an old Sand grouper, it was a little bit of bittersweet, but happy to help the Crow Eaters get out and have the win. And it was a really good game. I thought our midfield worked really well, coached by Buffer Wright down at South Adelaide. Did a great job setting up our structures, which were pretty simple for the guys. Obviously, we only had a week program to get the guys together and understand some stuff. And I looked after the forwards, so we kicked 20 goals, which is always good, Tubbs. So I was pretty happy with that. And Brent Riley did the back line and did a great job. I thought Alex Spina, our captain, had a really strong game, along with Jared Orman, who went to half-back and played a little bit of wing, was really good. And and Jade Sheedy, obviously the coach of the Eagles, who won the premiership last year, got the right to coach the team. I thought he did a fantastic job. His organisation skills around the team and setting up the whole program, along with Matty Doldig and Sean Toohey and the guys at the SANFL, they did a fantastic job, and something that I'm really excited to hopefully continue on for the next few years and be involved in the state team. It's a really good program, and to give something back to footy and get to know some of the other players that you might not get to coach. Struck up a little relationship with Liam McBean and a couple of boys from Glenelg, which was good, and it was really exciting for me to understand what the other coaches what they see and how they think about the game, and it was a great result for our competition to get over the Black Swans.
And just the difference in game, I guess, in terms of what a standard sample game would look like compared to another competition.
Yeah, well, our game, I think, I obviously played in the Waffle a long time ago now. I felt like the Waffle game was a lot of outside run and spread because they're such big ovals. I think majority of the ovals over there are like Westies and South ovals. And they like to get on the outside and run. So I said to our guys straight from the start, if we can get the ball and win it at the source and get it going our way, because I'd like to think our game's probably a bit more contested over here. We've got a lot of small ovals, so you sort of have to be that small, bruising, tackling type team, which majority of the teams are here in the SANFL. It's very contested. We felt like if we could win the ball on the inside and get it going our way, it's going to give our forward line, which was really exciting. There was a lot of quality down there, which was led by our captain Jack Hayes, who did a great job as well. I was really privileged to be able to coach those guys and sit back and watch them go to work.
And just the other guy that represented the state from the Roosters, you mentioned Alex and Jared had solid games, but Campbell Keem also had a pretty decent game with 22 touches and a couple of tackles.
Yeah, he just looked at the level. Any level Campbell sort of plays, he's going to get his 20 to 25, 30 and have, 5 or 6 clearances and probably 5 or 6 tackles. And, if he got picked up in the mid-season draft by an AFL team, which, it'd be great if he did, and, love somebody to come and give him an opportunity, he's probably going to do the same thing. So, will he get the opportunity or not? Who knows? For us, I hope not, but for him, I hope so. But, he's just a fantastic player. He only trained with the boys for the week. Obviously, he lives back home. But he travelled up for the couple of sessions, and he was outstanding. And to be thrown into a new system with some new guys and just go out and have 22, and I felt like he really contributed and played well. And I think he had 7 disposals in the first quarter and got us going a bit. So he's fantastic, and it's a real privilege to coach that fella.
And just we'll go back a couple of weeks now to the Westies game. We've had a couple of weeks off of RoosterTV, which has been on a vacation, all of us, but just back to the Westies game, a great win for the boys. We've been playing some decent football, we hadn't put it together, but 4-quarter effort from the lads. Yeah, no, really pleased. I felt like we've been building, even though we haven't got the wins on the board, which isn't great, and you always get a little bit anxious as a coach, but the welcome addition of having Billy Hartzell come back into the team just really changed the dynamic of the way we wanted to move the ball and the way we wanted to defend. I felt like we controlled the ball really well against Westies, and we obviously put some scoreboard pressure on in the first quarter, which a lot of teams have been doing to us. So that was a big focus going into the game. And I felt like our guys have really turned the corner. They've been training well, they've been doing all the right things, and we were just waiting for another click game for that to happen, and that happened against Westies, and we saw the fruits of that, our training standards and what we're trying to do, and fingers crossed we can do that against Port Adelaide this weekend, which is going to be a tough challenge, it always is down at Alberton. And talking about click games, we had the leaping Louis Hender got himself 8 goals off the back of some work rate and some defensive efforts. Just talk us through his game.
Yeah, and I think that's the number one thing that we've been talking to Louis, as you know, all year. Louis he can be a bit hot and cold, which he has been for the whole year, but really pleased for him to come out, obviously kick 6 and then 8 against Norwood and then Westies. And for Louis, it's just consistency of performance. Like, he's got to be able to put on those defensive pressures and defensive acts and tackle. And when he's moving, he looks really dangerous. When he's stationary, that's when he knows himself that he gets himself in a little rut. So the key message for Louis is just to keep moving, keep working on his defensive side of his game, because if he does that, he'll get rewarded with goals, and that's what happened against Westies.
And on to this week's game, we're going to trek down to Albert Oval to play Port Adelaide. They've got some injury worries down there, which is great for us, but just a few thoughts on the game ahead and how we can get the chocolates against the Magpies.
Well, I guess for us, it's just going to be about us as much as what we do. Obviously, we know what Port Adelaide, they've got obviously the top-up system, but they're going to still have some pretty quality players in there. Lockyer Jones, Dan Houston might come back in. He might go back into the AFL team, who knows. They've got Sam Hayes, who's doing really well in the ruck there. They've got a couple of Rooster boys in Maisie and Boyd playing there at the moment as well, and we know they're quality players. So we're just going to make sure we bring another 4-quarter effort and play our style of football. And I think if we play 4 quarters of our style of footy, we can beat anyone, anytime. So that's going to be our focus for this week, and I'm really looking forward to getting down there. I haven't played against the Maggies down there yet, obviously with COVID last year, so for me it's something that's on my bucket list that I definitely want to tick off, and we just got to make sure that we keep bringing our standard of footy and keep playing to the level that we think we can.
And just one other player that we'll mention that's going to come down this week and play in the reserves, Nigel Lockyer. He's a lad from Alice Springs that we've been able to get across to the Roosters for a few games this year, and just tell us a bit about Nigel and what he gave us last time as well.
Yeah, wow, what a fantastic talent, Tubbs. I'm really looking forward to Nigel coming down again. And Nigel obviously comes down only on a weekly basis with the program that they're running there at the Red Tails with Rob Clark and the guys. So I think it's a fantastic program to get those kids to come down for a week here and there, and potentially 2 times in over a 2-week period. So we're really fortunate that Nigel chose and wanted to come for us. He's obviously got a really strong relationship with Darren Reeves, who coached him at NT Thunder, but for our program, an exciting talent who can mark and kick goals. And I've been talking to Nigel just about trying to lay some more tackles and get his defensive side of his game, and he's got a lot of AFL interest. A lot of guys like what he can do, so we're really excited to get him into our program. Hopefully at the end of the year, more towards the full-time status, but right now, we're happy with what Nigel's doing, and he's a really exciting talent that, we've just got under our sleeves if we want to use it at any time. So really looking forward to watching Nige play again this weekend.
Okay, this weekend the reserves are at Norwood Oval again. Cooper Stadium to play Norwood at 10:40, and then the main game for the weekend is down at Alberton, 2:30 start, just a bit later so we can get between games. So we'd like to thank Port for that, and hopefully we can see a lot of red and white down there to get us over the line. Thanks, Serge.
Beautiful. Thanks, Tubbs.